How are you?
Good, how are you?
Pam, are you texting her that date? Thank you.
Okay, all right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. I call to order this special meeting executive session of the Scottsdale Unified District Governing Board. The date is Thursday, July 26, 2018. The time is 11:03, and we will start with a roll call from my far right.
Sandy Kravitz.
Allison Beckham.
Pam Kirby.
Barbara Perleberg, and Ms. Hartman is here telephonically, correct? Ms. Hartman?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
All board members are present, and we do have a quorum. Will please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So at this time, I'll make a motion the governing board convene an executive session for the following agenda items. 3A, pursuant to ARS 38431.03A3 and 4, discussion or consultation with the governing board's attorneys for legal advice and in order to consider its position and instruct its attorneys regarding case number CV 2018003-472, State of Arizona versus SUSD. And agenda item 3B, pursuant to ARS 38431.03A3 and 4, discussion or consultation with the governing board's attorneys for legal advice and in order to consider its position and instruct its attorneys regarding possible contract with vendor Clifton Larson Allen to conduct examination of procurement in the district. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Board Member Kravitz. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes 5-0. We will adjourn an executive session. Okay. All right, we're good? Recording. Okay. Welcome back, everyone. The time is 12:24, and we have reconvened our special meeting. Get directly to our first action item, 5A, approval of contract with Clifton Larson Allen to conduct examination of district procurement. Ms. Marshall?
Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Krikard and Sandra, we have, at the board's instruction, gone out for an RFQ to do an examination of actual procurements. I know that the board has also requested for quite some time a review of our internal controls. That is in process, and we're going to bring information about that back to you soon. But for today, we do have a recommendation to hire Clifton Larson Allen to do an examination of procurements, and that will include for the period July 1, 2017 through June 30th, 2018. Sorry, do you think that's the wrong, do I have the wrong date?
July 1.
July 1, 2018.
Sorry, July 1, 18 through June 30, 19. 4 categories of procurements. 1, all major construction projects entered into during that period that are over $1 million. 2, any procurements of architects or engineers during that period. 3, all other procurements greater than $100,000 that are not otherwise subject to testing by our regular auditor, which at this time is Heinfeld Meach. And 4, any purchases in excess of $100,000 through any cooperative purchasing agreements. There are 2 other categories that they're going to be examining, which are any sole source procurements during the period, as well as any procurements that are deemed emergency procurements. Those are less common, but they are appropriate for examination as well because they're so unique. We do have Dennis Osuch here from Clifton Larson Allen if you want to ask any questions of him or if you have any questions of me. This is Mr. Osuch.
Hi. Any specific questions at all? Yeah.
Board Member Beckham.
Hello, welcome. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about your firm so we'll have it on record, how long you've been in the Valley,
Sure.
what
Yeah.
you've been doing.
So Clifton Larson Allen is basically the combination of Clifton Gunderson and Larson Allen. Both firms have been in existence for over 60 years, and we're a nationwide firm. But within the Valley, we've been auditing and providing consulting and attest services to school districts for more than 30 years. I've been in government auditing and consulting for over 20 years myself. And then really the engagement team that we have assembled have got significant school district experience as well. Eric Thompson, who would be the manager on the engagement, has been with our firm for in the Phoenix area for I think 5 or 6 years, but he came from another CLA office, had been with them for 2 years. And then we'll also have a senior and a staff person assigned to that engagement as well too.
Thank you.
Board Member Hartman, did you have any questions?
Yeah, I have my virtual hand up.
I saw
I
it.
was wondering, thank you. I was wondering if you could speak just a little bit to, we've talked about it as a board, but a little bit the difference between examination versus a review versus an audit, just so that, you know, from a general public perspective, there's a little more understanding.
Sure, absolutely. So the way that the current agreement is written is it sort of uses the terminology examination a little bit loosely. There is under standards, test standards, there is an examination, review, audit, also agreed upon procedures, all of which are considered a test engagements. The difference being is that for an audit, you're actually giving an opinion on financial statements. So you're actually giving an opinion that the financial statements are in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. Normally an examination, the formal term examination, is used when you're giving an opinion that something's in accordance with a certain guideline. Not applicable to school districts, but a really good example of where we often use the examinations is for cities and towns. They have an annual expenditure limitation report. So they report almost like a financial statement, but it's not in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. Rather, it's presented in accordance with Arizona's uniform guidance that they have. And so it falls under an examination. An agreed upon procedures is also in a test engagement. And this is the route that we are going to go. And the reason it being is that what it does is it lays out the exact procedures that we're going to perform. So, you know, all of the things that Ms. Marshall had discussed, the major areas that we're going to look at, we are going to design procedures that basically address the uniform system of financial records, as well as the Arizona administrative rules that apply to procurements. And so we're going to lay out the exact procedures in order to basically test compliance with USFR and state law. And so I will put an engagement letter together that lays out those exact procedures, make sure that the district, as well as the attorneys, agree to those procedures, and then that's what we'll perform. And so really it sets out the scope of what we're going to do. We don't really do anything beyond that. That's exactly what we look at. If there's things that come to our attention that maybe are out of the scope, we will issue a management letter to the district on areas where we feel like maybe there could be some recommendations for improvement, for efficiencies, that type of thing. But in the agreed upon procedures report then, we'll basically lay out, you know, what the agreed upon procedures is, and we'll have the exact procedures that we have included in the engagement letter, and we'll note on there whether we had any exceptions to those procedures that we performed, and if we had exceptions, we'll detail out exactly what those exceptions were. So I hope, does that help?
Yeah, that's very helpful. And I just want to underscore something else that you said in terms of the deliverables that we'll expect. So it will be any noted exceptions, as well as any recommendations or areas of potential improvement, correct?
Correct. Yeah, and so the agreed upon procedures report is what will go to the Attorney General's office, as well as to the district and the attorneys. The management letter is what we will provide to the district. That will not go to the Attorney General's office because that is sort of outside the scope of what the Attorney General is looking for, but it's recommendations to the district where we think there could be some improvements. Where, you know, based on what we're looking at, you know, you might be doing it correctly. We may not have had any exceptions related to our design procedures or what we laid out, but maybe you could do it better, or you know, you could do it a little bit more efficient. So those would be the recommendations that we make.
Okay, and that's terrific, because that is what we are looking for, as well as in addition to the compliance side of it as well.
Right.
Agreed upon procedures.
Yeah, and do keep in mind that those items that we might report in the management letter, are really things that are going to come up as we're doing some of our reviews. So we're not really doing an extensive review of what your policies and procedures are, but these are things that might come up as we're doing the agreed upon procedures that we might identify or see. I just wanted to make that clear that we weren't doing a full scope review of all the policies and procedures.
Right.
Okay, correct. Thank you for that clarification. That
Mhm.
makes sense. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Yeah,
Any
I
other-
just want to clarify
sorry.
again, the contract length, time frame, July 1, 18 to June 30th, 2019, correct?
Yes, we are anticipating a total of at least 3 years of this kind of review, but this agreement is for the current year.
That was going to be my follow-up question,
Yep.
just that, to clarify the intent that these examinations, even though we're just scheduling for this 1 year, it is expected to go beyond that.
Yes, we intend to
The
do at
next
least
3.
3 years,
Okay.
if not more.
Okay, great, thank you. So, do we have a motion? Board Member Kirby?
I move to approve the contract with Clifton Larson Allen to conduct examination of district procurement from July 1st, 2018 through June 30th of 2019.
All right. Ms. Siegel, did you have?
Madam President, you did have on your agenda today to discuss a settlement with the Attorney General's office.
We don't have a
That's
vote.
Next.
Excuse me?
We don't have a vote on.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt that. I
Yeah,
thought you had voted.
That's 5B.
Apologize.
That's
Okay, I had it out of
That's
order.
next.
I wanted to make sure
All right.
that you had that
I have
opportunity
it-
to discuss.
I have it next on the
Okay.
agenda. Okay. Second. So we have a second from Board Member Kravitz. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Board Member Hartman? Oh, did I hear aye? Board Member Hartman, did you say aye?
She's on mute.
Board Member Hartman? Hello?
Kim?
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes 5-0. All right. So thank you all again for this work. Looking forward to the information and the improvements that come with this work. So action item 5B, approval of settlement of case number CV 2018-003-472, State of Arizona v. SUSD. Ms. Siegel, now we're here.
Yes, I'm sorry. Madam President, members of the board, as you know, in February, the Attorney General filed a lawsuit naming Hunt and Caraway, Brian Robichaux, a principal in Hunt and Caraway, and the district for procurement violations in connection with the procurement of construction for the Hopi and, I'm sorry, not Hopi, no, for the Hohokam and Cheyenne projects. There were 2 counts alleged. We have since been working very diligently with the AG's office. The AG's office has been great to work with. Of course, we are adverse in this matter, but I think we have a common goal of having transparency and correct procurement processes in place. So we have no settlement at this point. We have made significant progress, and we are on the verge of reducing this all to writing. You, I believe, have instructed me in executive session, and I believe you'll have a motion on that. And we will proceed to try to finalize these negotiations. They will include, if you will, 3 components. One is training. One is hiring an accounting firm to do an examination of procedures, and the third is spells out the monetary component of it all. But we haven't reached those terms yet.
All right. Are there any questions before make a motion? Ms. Hartman, are you good? There is actually one. All right, so at this.
Yes, I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, great. Then I will make a motion that board approve legal counsel to proceed as directed in executive session. Do I have a second? Second. Thank you, Board Member Beckham. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, motion passes 5-0. And so at this time, do I have a motion to adjourn our meeting?
So moved.
Thank you, Board Member Kravitz. A second? Second. Thank you, Board Member Kirby. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. We will adjourn and go back to our summer for as long as it lasts. It's almost done.